But so today is day 9 for me, and I'm down 15 pounds still. Um,
Very good.
that's that motivation that, I needed to push.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and welcome to A Healthy Alternative. Today, we are once again continuing our series where we are talking to R72 Weight Loss Challenge participants about their experience with the challenge thus far. Maybe, looking at why they wanted to join the challenge, what their expectation was, and then what their experience has been thus far. So today we have Sharika, and I am so pleased that you spent the time with us. I was a little tardy. I like to keep it real. I was a little tardy. One of my other calls ran over, and you patiently waited, and you are such a pleasant person. So anyway, with all that being said, I'm not even trying to butter you up. I'm just saying, appreciate you. Well, first of all, how did you find AHA?
So I feel like AHA found me, honestly. I was on YouTube, and I don't even remember what I was looking for, but it definitely wasn't weight loss. Probably should have been, but it wasn't weight loss. And I saw one of the, of course, all the it says something about because I think the first one was a couple, and about how they had lost like 50 pounds or so in within a few months time frame. And I was like, hmm? Because I had been looking into difference, and you know how the phones and all of that, they know all these algorithms, and
Oh
they know
yeah.
what you're looking at. And
Mhm.
so I had been looking at things, but not necessarily on YouTube. And so I'm sure that's how it came up into my view. But I was like, okay, I'll take a look. And so listening to, it was mainly the wife of the couple that lost the bulk of the weight, but listening to the couple talk about what they'd done and different changes they made, and they were talking about water fasting, and I was like, I've done water fasting, but I didn't do it. I did it years ago, um, double digit years ago, honestly, at this point. And but it wasn't at all for weight loss. It was just
Mhm.
because my life was upside down, and I was like, you know what, I need to make a change. And I just joined this church, and we learned all the different types of fasting, and the one that kept coming to me was a 40-day fast, and I was like, not me. And then and I'm like, I'm hearing the wrong things. I know it wasn't meant for me to do a 40-day fast. And so it just, like, I kept feeling that I needed to do that, and I was like, okay, if it's really meant for me to do this, I'll know, because I know if I go so long without, eating, I'll get a headache and tight and all of these different things. And I was like, so as soon as that hits me, then I'll know that this really wasn't for me. So fine, I'll try it. And I did, and I didn't have the headache. I wasn't tired. Nothing but my stomach was growling, which was expected. So I was a little bit upset about it, even because I'm like, wait, what's happening? And I got sick maybe within the first week of it, but it was during the winter and flu was going around. And so I was like, well, that's my sign. So I made a doctor's appointment, and I'm like, watch, when I tell him I'm not eating, he's going to say, well, that's your problem. And, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to go get to eat after I leave the doctor's office. And I remember being in the doctor's office, and he's like, you have a touch of the flu, and he's like, but you don't need any. He said, just make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated. And he's like, I don't care if it's just water, but that's all. And I was like, no. So I'm still like fighting this thing, but I did it the 40 days. At the time, I honestly didn't keep up with my weight, because I knew, with me being overweight all my life, honestly, and having tried all the things, I knew that if I focus on the weight, it would become the wrong focus.
Mm,
And so, but I knew I went down 4 clothes sizes in those 40 days.
wow.
So yeah, it definitely made a huge impact. And it's so funny because people were like, what kind of, like, what are you
Right.
what's going on?
Right.
It's things about me. Like, I'll even say, like, I don't know how clear you can see it, but like, I've always had this neck. And I'm like this is the neck I always have, no matter what I look like. and it stretched all the way out. And all of these bones here show up, and I'm like,
Mm,
huh, okay, so that's how you're supposed to look.
mhm.
And over time, and oddly enough, I actually met my husband the last week of that fast. But so I guess I did need to go through that whole process. But different times I tried it throughout. I'm like, I should do a fast. I should do a fast, and it just never. I don't know. I could never get through probably no more than a day. And so when this came
Mm,
up, I'm like, different reasoning. It's healthy. Lately, I've really been feeling like I needed to flush out, I guess you would say, my
yeah.
system
Mhm.
and just start fresh. Retrain my mindset. I'm a person I've always eaten pork. My family has. It's what they do, even though there's high blood pressure and all these different things, stroke, all the things that run in the family. But still, that's just what because we're Southern, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but my
Okay.
family's in even Southern Georgia, which a lot of people say Atlanta is country, but what we call the country. And so that's how they eat with all the fats and the oils and all of that stuff. And so um lately I was like, well, just because you don't eat pork like that and just because you've been eating doesn't mean that you have to keep eating it. Like, why? And so I've just really been thinking about that. Additionally, within the last year, maybe 14 months, I've gained like 45 pounds.
Mm,
And I'm like, and I know stress has a huge part to do with that. But I also know it was just me taking care of my body or not taking care of my body. And so when I was looking, for different things, I'm like, I need something drastic because I'm an impatient person, just being realistic. And
right.
if I go with the whole, let me just try this slow change, I'm not gonna see results for a while, and I need to start seeing something to keep me motivated to keep doing this. And so I watched the first video. I found other videos then because after you watch the first one, there are others that come up, and I started to watch them, and I could appreciate um, the rolling 72 because yes, you're fasting, but then you have a break. So for someone who's struggling, it's something to look forward to.
Mhm.
And it's something where you just don't feel like you're completely, depriving yourself. Now, I think when you're fasting, it's not just your body, your time to lose weight, but it's your body's opportunity to like, what is it that I'm putting in my body that's hurting me? What is it that's causing me to have these effects? Or because it's really you're saying no to the flesh and just saying, I'm in control mentally, I'm in control. Um, I decide what goes in here, what's good, all just really break it gives you a chance to really break out of all of the bad habits.
Mhm.
Because if you're doing this and you're keeping up with it, and also on your not taking advantage of those refeed days and just gobble gobble
Right.
gobble because you know um and really making being intentional and saying, okay, when this day comes, I sat down on probably the first day and said, okay, let me think about what I want to eat on my refeed day so that I'm already ready. I already know that I have it. I can be prepared. There's no reason for me not to be because I have 3 days to get prepared for this one day. And really make sure I'm being intentional about what I eat and that it's something filling. And also that I'm not just letting I was gonna say let my eyes be bigger than my stomach, but you know what? By the refeed day, because I actually started it on the first.
Okay.
Um, by the refeed day, it wasn't. I didn't want to just overindulge and just eat everything in sight.
Really?
I actually decided to do intermittent fasting, and initially I was gonna do 12, or I did 12 to 8, but I switched it up a little bit earlier because one of the things I'm also working on is going to bed earlier. And
Mm.
so, but when it was time to eat, I'm like, okay, take your time, prepare, because I was making a salad, make your salad. Don't eat, because one of the things I had on my salad was sunflower seeds. Don't pick up some and eat them while you're making the salad. Like, make the salad and not eat the foods while you're making the salad.
Mm.
Because I know many of us do that, and especially when you're trying to rush and do things, or even if you're like the primary cook in the house, as you're preparing, you may take a little bit here and you let me taste that, and doing all that. So by the time the food is done, you've already had the meal, but now it's time to sit down with the plate and eat again, really.
Mm.
So I made my salad, and um, brought it back, went sat down with it, and ate. It's little things like that,
Yes.
because when you eat and you're doing other things, you get sidetracked and you end up eating more. But I had my salad and I was good. It's only a struggle because you make it a struggle.
Mm.
And me being someone like it, you name it, I've tried it. I have definitely spent thousands of dollars. And I know even in one sitting at some points of all these different things of weight loss. And honestly, it wasn't because of health issues. Luckily, thankfully, I've never been one to have those. But I have three kids, and with each of my pregnancies, I did start to, with the first, I had preeclampsia, which, if anyone's not familiar, they consider it like a stress of pregnancy, but basically it's like your body is going out of whack. My blood pressure was up, um, excessive swelling in the ankles and arms. I had this like burning, what I thought was heartburn in my chest. Um, excessive amounts of protein in the urine. They check that when the pregnant women go to the appointments. Like, I had all of the things going on all at once.
Mm.
And I remember going in for a normal visit, and the doctor was like, "Do you feel okay?" And I was like, "Well, no, but I've never been pregnant, so I don't know how I'm supposed to feel."
Right.
And it was that. And then both with my other two pregnancies, my blood pressure was up, and outside of pregnancy, no issues. But one of the things that the doctor did say was, if you're having these with your pregnancies, you're probably going to end up having it later on if you don't change something, if
Mm.
you don't change your habits. And so I was like, noted, but I mean, I think I have a little time before I get to that point. And so, didn't really take it seriously. But after more recently, not only gaining this weight here in this small amount of time, 40 plus pounds, but with stress, like, all of these different things started happening. I'm like, I having headaches and pains and fibroids and all of these different things, just like they were. I told somebody, I was like, my body is attacking me and I don't know why, which, because I wasn't taking care of myself.
Mhm.
And so I had to stop, and really kind of take a look at the role that I was playing and what I was doing, what I needed to change. So my job had a large part to do with that. I actually left recently and started my own business. But
Oh,
and
congratulations on that one.
thank you so
Mm.
much. So that definitely helped with the stress. And then it was like, okay, now what about what you're eating? Because you need to change that too. And so that's when I really started looking into all these different things. And I'm just really excited and grateful for this. I'm thinking about ways, once I get to whatever my goal will be, um, of how I can maintain this, because it's something I definitely want to keep doing. Fasting as a part of just life, because I think it's a good reset for your body.
Mhm.
And not just because, oh, I went out and ate all the food, or, oh, it was the holidays and now I need to adjust. Like, just as a normal part of life, I think it's helpful. So far, so I started on the 1st um, of January, and so I've had 2 refeed days. But so today is day 9 for me, and I'm down 15 pounds still. Um,
Very good. Very good.
yeah, so that's that motivation that I needed to push. And also
Mhm.
on the refeed days, you don't want to overdo it, and then you lose because the first 3 days I lost 9 pounds. I don't
Right.
want to lose 9 pounds and then go eat, and 5 of them I've already eaten back,
Yeah,
defeating
exactly.
the purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm really just trying to think of ways I can make sure I incorporate this long term, because I like the benefits of it. It forces me to drink my water, which we all need.
Hmm.
And I'm pleased, honestly, with the process and the community. Uh, I'm not a frequent poster uh and the different boards, but I do appreciate the different emails and the others that post, whether it's recipe ideas or whether it's just talking about their particular journey, because it's all very inspiring and it pushes you when you're feeling that stomach growl or whatever.
Hmm.
Because I think, like, after you've done the refeed, that next day of the fast, day one, is it's probably hard, a little bit
Hmm.
hard when you're going back into it. And then you're okay day two, and then you're excited day three because you know day four. And so that's kind of how it's been going for me. But I'm excited of what is to come.
The interesting thing is when the better you are with your diet when you do get your eating day, the easier it is to go into the fasting. So what we try to do is convey optimal information to you all so that you can have a seamless transition in and out. And I think that you are doing that as you are, learning and experiencing, and you'll start making adjustments that you need to make so that your transition is more seamless. But fasting and the rolling cycle, it's like a muscle. It's like a muscle that you're working. And as you do it more and more, you will refine it and you'll find what's helping you, what isn't as beneficial. And so the beautiful thing about it is you get to kind of experiment, play, ask questions, interact, get ideas from other people, from the group. And so overall, um, we have this collective knowledge base that I think helps people take bigger strides and alleviate some of the pressure and stress from having to do it on your own. So that's excellent. I,
Yes.
I appreciate you sharing so much. I wanted to actually ask, um, are are you the main cook in the house, and what has that experience been like with you cooking and fasting?
Yes, I am. And we have a lot of different activities between the three kids and my husband, and just life. And so it's not uncommon for us to eat out a few days a week just because we're going back and forth and all over. Well,
Hmm.
one of the things with me now being home more, I'm like, okay, we're going to start eating from home because, one, it's
Hmm.
healthier, um, and more cost effective, but also healthier. Um, so so I've been cooking even more than I normally would, but
Mm.
it also gives me the opportunity to enforce these changes within my household, because, like, I'm also the one that does the grocery shopping. So it's, you know what, we're not buying snacks, and not just because mommy's not eating snacks, but nobody needs to just eat snacks like that. So, if you guys are taking lunch, you have um, fruit that you can take. You have what was the other thing that I got them? I don't know, something. But there are other alternatives outside of chips, uh, or candy, or even some well, not candy, but chips or cookies, or even some granola bars, because
Mm.
they start off with, oh, granola bar is healthy, but well, when you get the one that's dipped in
Right.
chocolate with the
Yeah.
with all the extra, you kind of running away from that.
Yeah.
So, looking at better things for them to take, buying more nuts for them to take, like a trail mix type setup.
Hmm.
So, trying to enforce it as a household slowly, so that they don't feel the impact, because that's also one of the things that I've done, and one of the things that I've had to learn. Um, what people tend to do, you want to make these changes. You said, I'm going to have a clean life, or whatever your change is, whether it's eating right, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. And you jump in full speed ahead, full both feet, but it's not really realistic because you weren't doing it before. And
Right.
so you were doing nothing before, and now you're going to go at 100. I've never
Mm,
worked out, but I'm going to start working out 7 days a week. That's not
exactly.
realistic.
Mhm.
But if you say, well, I've never worked out, but I'm going to start with maybe 2 to 3 days a week, and this is what I'm setting as part of my schedule, and then build from that, it helps it, a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing with them. Let me slowly take away this a little bit and replace it with this. Because it's not really anything that, we need. We're a healthy household overall, but that doesn't mean there aren't changes that we can stand to make.
That's good. That's good. You were. I don't know if you realize you really touched on some nuances that I think will help people because we get a lot of moms and dads that are cooking and they're fasting or even chefs. And the way I love hearing how different people approach it and are successful. Just to give people more options and earlier when you're talking about when you are doing your eating the self-control that you actively implement while you're preparing your meal and everything, I think that also helps when it comes to preparing the meals for the children. On the days you're not going to eat, I love the idea of preparing a meal that you're not even that interested in on the day that you're not eating. That's just a nice,
Mhm,
small little tidbit that people can
mhm.
use in their own journey. So you have been a wealth of knowledge and information. Like I really appreciate
Thank you.
how in depth you've gone with explaining things. I know for a fact that a lot of what you said is going to resonate with people because I've heard a lot of what you touched on from other people. The positive attitude that you have and the way that you're approaching everything and the way that you are being intentional and paying attention and making adjustments. This is the framework for being successful. So you're definitely on the right path. So at this point all you have to do
Yeah.
is just stay the course.
Yes.
And as you had mentioned before, getting those quick results help keep you motivated. And so this is going to help keep you, as we kind of go through the rest of this. So I appreciate all of that. Maybe if you're interested in talking about what what are the outcomes that you would like to get from maybe this challenge? Do you plan to do another challenge in the future, or what are you looking for in the future?
I'm definitely planning to continue. So with through future challenges, um, to kind of help have that support, because I would say if having an accountability partner is great. Um, and if you're or at least if you have something like this community where you can dial in and speak your piece or get that encouragement or whatever it is you need. I know initially in my journey, I had an accountability partner and it was a close friend of mine, and we were both on the same journey. And, but I would be like, she may check in and say, so how's it going today? And I'm like, oh, this happened and that happened. And I decided I went and got me some hot wings and fries because I'm frustrated and I deserve it. And she's like, that's right, friend, you do deserve it. And I'm like,
Uh,
we're not good for each other.
um,
we're, we're not doing good at this. So we have learned that we are not good for each other's accountability. So, for anybody listening, if you have that kind of accountability partner, no, don't say, well, that's my good friend. That may be your good friend in other areas, but
right.
for that, you probably need somebody else. Uh,
Beautiful.
but yes, I definitely plan to continue. Um, Honestly, I'd like to lose at least 80 pounds. So I want to definitely keep working towards that. But as I do that, continue to look into ways to help no, on steps to maintain once I get to where I want. Because I
Mhm.
think a lot of times we get so caught up in this is my goal, and then you hit the goal and it's like, now what?
Right.
And you don't know what to you're not supposed to go back to your old habits, but you haven't really established anything. And so I think that with these challenges and the refeeds in between, it gives you a chance to say, let me try this for this day. Oh no, that didn't work for me, so let me switch this up. It
Mm.
kind of gives you a trial run while you're still doing the program, or while you're still also losing weight and healing your body. So I feel like it's a win-win.
You nailed it. This is exactly what I had in mind when I developed it. I was just like, this is going to be a good opportunity for people to do trial and error. They're in the group, they have the accountability, they can ask questions. So people post so many different recipes. We gave
Mhm,
y'all the cookbook. The first group got
mhm.
the cookbook for so you guys got, those recipes to try. And then also, like you mentioned, you get 3 days to prepare. So you can look
Yeah,
up different recipes, get your ingredients. Maybe you need some weird equipment or something, and you have that little bit of time where you're not eating. You save a little bit of money here and there, and so it's just a good opportunity, I think, for building lifestyle. So I guess we'll find out. But you picked up on that, so that's perfect. So I think maybe that message is being conveyed, and I think it's one of the greatest benefits of being part of the community.
yes,
Um,
yes.
well, listen, I appreciate your time. This has been amazing. I hope the audience appreciates because people don't like it's not always easy to get on the channel and just and just be genuine, open and honest. And so I always want to say thank you. I appreciate you sharing, and we are definitely looking forward to hearing from you again. If maybe at the end of the challenge, you might not have to come back on and do a video. Maybe you want to give us a post or something. But I love getting follow-ups. So
Absolutely.
if you'll follow up with me, that'll make my day.
I will do that. Yes.
All right. Well, everybody, listen, subscribe if you haven't already, and the application of knowledge is power. I will see you all next time.
Thank you.